Alright, I've got the right side wheel taken off. I have the inner wheel well taken out, and I have the cover for the cam gears and the cam belts off. I wanted to show you the cam belts look like they're in decent condition. I don't know if you can see that. These are original Ferrari belts, which are outrageously expensive. Dayco makes the belts for the Ferrari, and if you buy them with the little horse on the box, I want to say they charge you $120 to $220, depending on where you buy them from. If you buy the actual Dayco belts, which is who makes these for the car, they're like $20 a pop. So you're paying for packaging and labeling and a name. What I wanted to also show you is the cam gears. These are plastic, and this is the intake, and down here is the exhaust. And I'm going to swing down so you can get a better look at them. They are cheese ball plastic, and they're cheap as hell. Whoops. Once I get up in here and look at them, if these collapse or the belt goes, then the valves will just sit without moving, and it'll allow the cylinders to slam into them and destroy the entire thing, costing me roughly about 10 grand. Luckily, we're not there yet. The cam gears are expensive. The actual gear set, it's for a set of 4. They're made out of machined aluminum. They're beautiful. They're about $750. But that's a one-time fix. Once you've done that, you never have to worry about the gears ever again. Now, you will occasionally have to change the belts. Ferrari recommends every 3 years or about 30,000 miles, which, depending on how you drive it, is not a bad idea. I've had this car now 5 years, and if you look at the belts, of course I haven't driven it much because of the gears. The belts are still in really good condition. There's no cracking on them, no stress. I'm not worried about them snapping. What I'm worried about is these gears collapsing. If these collapse, it's over. That's a total engine rebuild, or partial engine rebuild, which I'm not really in the mood to do this year. Here's a water pump. I'm also going to go ahead and rebuild this. The rebuild kit I found for about $50, so no big deal there. I still have to, this is the left bank of, or the left cylinder. I still have to get in here, remove the compressor, remove my coolant tube, remove all these little belts, and get to the right bank. I don't know if you can see the cover. That's the cover right there. And that's going to have to come out so I can get to the right bank of cylinders. But all in all, another couple hours and I'll have this thing completely stripped. Then I'm just waiting on parts to show up. I'm actually ordering all my parts from Superformance UK, which I have ordered from Ricombi. I have ordered from, about 4 different dealers. And Superformance seems just to have the best prices. They have a warehouse in England full of stuff that, basically for these cars, just a ton of stuff for the 308. One of the other projects I'll be working on next, after I get the belts done and get this thing perfectly drivable and safe, is the bushings. You can see they're in wonderful condition, all cracked and dry rotted and nasty. But again, bushing kits, not that expensive. Pretty much easy money for these cars. They were designed to come apart real easy and real quick so they could put them back together and get them back on the road, because when they built these, Ferrari wasn't really mass producing these things for any other reason than to support their racing habit. So they built a lot of their racing technology into this stuff, which made it real easy to strip these cars down and work on them real quick. In fact, it'd take me about an hour and a half, 2 hours max if I had to pull that engine all the way out. It's set up real quick and easy to yank. And the engine, transmission, gearbox all come out as one unit. So we're not going to do that, at least not on this round, maybe in a year or two if I decide to do a rebuild. But as it stands right now, I'm just doing a simple belt change and water pump rebuild. I'm also going to make sure the valves are adjusted properly. This car does have 50,000 on it. So it is time to get in here and remove the valve covers and make sure the valves are adjusted. Other than that, there's not a whole lot. These are really actually reliable cars. They can be driven every day as a daily driver. I mean, a lot of people don't want to do that, but it is very possible to do it. Once you address the little issues that they have, I mean, they really built these engines solid. I've seen them go 120, 150 before people decide to rebuild them. I'm sure they'll go farther than that. But unless you're driving this thing daily driver highway miles, you may never literally get to that point. So, all right, I'll keep filming as I keep stripping this thing apart. Oh, hold on. One more thing. While I've got the car apart, let me go in here and show you the fuse box. This is something I got from Birdman Ferrari. This is using the new tube glass fuses. The original fuse box in these things were atrocious. In fact, let me show you the original fuse blocks. These are the old style. I don't know if anybody remembers these things. They had them in Volkswagen, BMW, a lot of the foreign cars. The fuse would actually sit in here, wedged between these two little points, and they just sat there with tension. Now these things would corrode. In fact, this one's so hot, you see it warped like a banana. And they are horrible designs, but luckily Birdman, Jonathan, I will give you credit for this, sells an upgrade kit for these things, and it's listed on birdmanferrari.com. He also has a hell of a lot of good tips and tricks to help you with your car if you are a 308 enthusiast. They show you how to do brakes, clutch if I'm not mistaken. In fact, there's a part of the site is dedicated to doing the cam belts. These are not outrageously expensive cars to own. In fact, the clutch on this thing runs about $800. I mean, if you're going to pay a shop to do labor, then no, it's probably in your best interest not to mess with one. But if you're a do-it-yourselfer or a guy that can just run a wrench, even as a hobby, these are quite affordable cars to own. So, all right, I'm going to cut this one off, and then I will keep taping when I get the other bank open, and we'll go from there with the cam gears. All right, later.